Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to WOWBIZ Super Quiz, brought to you by Curzon Graphics, the only game show that combines competition and fun and different business perspectives in an exciting atmosphere. Please welcome your host, Lynn Hinderacher.
All right, here we go, here we go. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming. Thank you, guys. We're going to come back and talk to you in a minute, all right? Thank you, everybody, and thank you for having me there. Great to see you tonight. Hey, this is a very special program, as you mentioned before. There's 2,500 production facilities, local TV stations, just like this around the entire country, and you know, not one of them is doing a business game show.
That's amazing.
That's right. A lot of special people coming here together, including yourself. Heather Jones is an outstanding comedian, well recognized in the Omaha and Council Bluffs area. We're thrilled to have you right here.
Thank you
for helping out and helping us get through this. And speaking of unusual and special guests, why don't you go on over here, and I'm going to talk to our guests right here. We're going to see who's ready for us right here. And look at these guys. These are some strong performers. Why don't you tell us again who you are and tell us a little bit about your company, please.
Sure. Thanks, Lynn. My name's Jim Caldwell. I'm a wealth advisor at Carson Wealth here in Omaha.
Yes.
We're a local company with a national presence. We have over 80 partner offices throughout the country, and we're in all 50 states.
Absolutely. And Carson Wealth is a well-known operation, and you're a senior executive over there. So thank you so much for being here. I know you live a really busy life. Now, our other gentleman over here I have a special bond with because I come out of the advertising industry, and he's definitely an advertising guru over in the Council Bluffs area, which is near where we're at right now. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your operation.
My name is Dan Rutledge. I own Right Idea Media and Creative over in Council Bluffs.
Absolutely.
We've been in business since 1999. Really do a little bit of everything for everyone, from video to building websites to Google AdWords to Facebook, social media, all sorts of things. Work with about 106 clients in 20 plus markets all over the country.
Wow, 106 clients, is that right? How do you sleep at night, man? How can you keep up with all that?
I have good people.
Good people, that's the answer. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dan and Jim Caldwell. It's a pleasure to have you. You ready to get started with Super Quiz questions?
Sure, let's go.
All right, awesome. Here we go. Here we go. Heather, come on over here with me. And you and I are going to discuss the answers that we get from these people. Now, this first one, you see the old-fashioned bell right in front of you. All right? So I'm going to ask you a question. Now watch out! Now you're jumping the gun, but it is a cool sound, isn't it?
Cheaters always win.
I love it. I love it. I always do. I go to check into hotels just so I can do that. As a matter of fact. All right, but anyway, so here's our question that we'll begin the show with, and as soon as you think you have a good answer to this, please hit the bell and we'll listen to you right off the bat. If you hear someone say that presentation strains credulity, what does that actually mean? Oh, Jim beat me on this one. He was ahead of Rutledge right away, but not very far. All right, tell me
so,
what does that mean?
To me, that comes across that it's not believable, that it's not authentic, that it's not personable. So they're doubting what you're saying, and they don't feel confident that you could back it up in their best
Seems like a
interest.
pretty good answer. Mr. Rutledge, what would you say, man? How would you answer this question?
I would say largely what Jim just said, but also, I guess the word that comes to my mind is actually two letters, BS. It's a bunch of BS.
Gullible too, as well. Yeah. Maybe not fully authentic, huh?
Yep.
Outstanding. Well, they're both great answers. You're both right, but I have a feeling Jim beat us to the punch by half a second. Half a second. Oh yeah, we got to say, don't you agree?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here they are. Nobody wants to go to a presentation that strains credulity, but let's go on from there. You know, let's talk big picture for just a second about our economy and of course our country. The cost of food, rent, transportation, and childcare. All right, think about those. That's a big piece of the budget. Those costs are rising twice as fast as incomes. This is a rough thing for all companies that have something to sell. All right. So, what is the best way for a company to adjust to this worrisome economic indicator?
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Jim. Yeah, this is not quite as easy.
Yeah. Nobody likes change, right? So within our company, as an example, we have stakeholders. We don't have employees.
Yeah.
But how we adjust to those type of things, we have flexible working hours. We let the stakeholders kind of pick their day. They know what their job is. They know what they need to accomplish in a given day.
Okay.
We give them extra benefits. Like right now, we have a physical fitness challenge. It starts Saturday for 8 weeks.
I see.
So we do a lot of other things that are part of our unique culture.
So you're talking now about, because of this economic pressure, you're trying to give your employees primarily a break, so to speak, and flexibility and that
Right.
kind of thing.
We have this RISE program, which allows them to, it's like a mental health program.
Yeah.
It allows you to make sure you can control stress, and we help educate
I
on
see.
how to manage that.
Well, definitely economic strain creates stress, and so I applaud you for the fact that you're doing that. There's another way to come at this thing, and maybe Dan will do that. I'm talking about customers now. What about, how do we adjust to customers that are squeezed economically? Now, the car business is a definite example of that. A lot of people say, hey, you know, I really like to have that vehicle, but man, oh man, my operating costs and living costs have gone up almost exponentially.
Right.
How do we deal with that, in your opinion, Dan? What's the best way to deal with that?
Well, in terms of running my company, the thing that we really have focused on is just getting better at serving our clients, looking for efficiencies, trying to get more done with less people, less resources, that kind of thing, but also focusing on new business, on sales, so that we have a steady stream of revenue coming through the door that really kind of helps offset the rising expenses.
Yeah, there you go.
We do a lot of the things Jim's talking about in terms of flexible schedules, try to offer kind of a unique benefit package. One of the things we do that I think is a little bit unusual in this day and age.
Yeah,
is
we're listening.
We pay everyone hourly, so you can still get overtime.
I see.
If you want to work from 10 to 7, you can work 10 to 7, whatever you want to do.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting adjustment. Creating value for people who really are stretched economically. It's a real challenge, especially if you sell an upscale product. One of the things that I would suggest to you is find those loyal customers, lock them in, right? Because that's core business. And secondly, think about segmenting your user base or your customer base more precisely, looking for people that, well, they're on the edge, but we can probably sell them a medium to upscale product, and really being very clear about who in your customer base is truly in a desperate situation versus other people that are, tough, but they could probably still pop for another purchase. Does that make sense to you?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think both of you have a great answer, and I'm going to give you a tie on that, okay? I thought they were both excellent
Yeah, he got
questions.
that
Does
one.
everybody agree with that? All right. Now here we come again. Now, on this one, I'm going to ask you what you think of these guys' response, okay? You're going to assume the role of the judge.
Okay.
And since you're a natural comedian, I can't wait to hear your response, okay? Now, this is a weird time that we're in right now. Over 60% of all purchasing decisions are made without ever talking to a sales rep. I mean, it's a scary thing. You're a rep, I'm a rep, all right? And we don't even see these transactions. We don't even see these people making these purchases. So it's a very weird thing. So the question is, what's the best way you can think of for a sales rep to adjust this trend when the deals are going by them and the buyer's over here and they're buying from the product, and it's disintermediation is what's called, right? This goes right by you. Jim, I'd like to ask you. Okay, go ahead, Dan. No, go ahead. I love the sound. In fact, bing it again.
I've been waiting for that
I just
one.
want to hear. There we go. All right. Yeah, tell me how to deal with this. This is a big issue.
So
man.
I think that the thing that I always talk with my salespeople about is, the old saying is ABC, always be closing. I think nowadays it's more always be helping.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of meet the customer where they are in the purchase process. Don't get hung up on, you have to start at the beginning and go all the way through the process to the close.
Yeah.
They may be, if you have a 7-step process, they may be on step 4 before they ever
Because they may have
feel
been
like
on the
they wanna talk
internet
to you.
and doing all kinds of research. By the time they talk to you, they might be 60, 70% all the way down the sales journey,
Yes.
right?
So you just need to be able, as a rep, you need to be able to listen, really discern where somebody is in the process and adjust to that.
Yeah,
So
based on
really-
where they're at in
yeah.
the journey. All right, I think that's a great answer. Jim, how would you answer that?
I like his answer.
You can't copy his answer.
I
You
would
gotta
never do
have-
that. I'll take it a step further. Listening is the key.
Yeah.
And we talk about at our firm, most of our clients and or prospects, they don't go to a salesperson.
Yeah.
They go on the website, they go on social media, they're on Twitter, they're on LinkedIn, they're gathering their own information.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is be able to add value, and we do that by listening.
Yeah.
And then we have a little technique called teach, tailor, and take control, because today's consumer,
You got a little formula there.
they want education. They want knowledge.
Yeah. I tell you what, I think both of them have a great answer, but I want to hear what you think between those two people right there, because they both have great answers.
A lot
They-
riding
they
on
do,
this,
they
Heather.
do.
And this is a big question.
Fourth and goal at the one.
When I talk to clients, this is the number one question that comes up. The customer's going around us. We got to figure out some way to interact with them and add value. So What do you think? What do you think? Which one of these?
I'm going to go with Dan on this one. To even it up and yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. So Dan has a good answer. All right,
Yeah.
very good. I'll go with that. I think they're both actually outstanding answers.
I'll tell you, she likes his suit better than mine.
Yeah, well,
That's
you
the
know.
whole key right there.
Your tan evens it out.
Yeah, that's right, that's
It's
right.
hard
Okay.
not to. It's,
All right, all
in
right.
fact,
Now
I'm overcompensating.
All
for
right,
tan,
all right.
giving it to him.
we're going to get on to another tough question, right? Equally tough. We're wading in some deep water here, as a matter of fact, right? This is about trust. Not a lot of trust in this world these days. Coaches, teachers, and priests have been revealed in certain cases, we all know about that in the media, as not being trustworthy. All right? And this kind of rubs off on all of us. It creates a cynicism deep down inside of all of us. So the question now is, what is the best way to earn the trust of today's cynical and aloof customer? We're going to go with Jim. Go ahead. Let's hear what he has to say on this. This is a big, tough question.
And this is huge right now, but I feel like the value add, you need to show that you can add value to their situation. And we talk about that all the time with potential households. If we can add value to your situation, then let's continue to the next step. If we can't, then it's a waste of everybody's time. So value leads to trust.
Now, do people understand the value? I mean, the trust comes because they have to understand the value, obviously.
Well, you know better than any of us, people don't buy from companies, they buy from people.
Yeah.
So developing that relationship that leads to trust by showing that value gets you into the end zone.
I'm going to come on in there a little bit. Let's hear what you have to say about this, Dan, in terms of creating trust, sufficient trust to let you or your reps into their world and actually make a pitch. What do you think the answer is?
Well, I'll tell you, there are a lot of factors to it. Listening is huge. I would say the other thing in my business that we do, we typically, set up a budget, say on a month or a quarterly basis. The client agrees to the budget. We execute the advertising plan. The thing that we are really keyed in on is being able to report back the results. What happened? What did you get for your money? Not just in terms of clicks to your website, but how many leads did it generate? How did it affect your sales?
So more tangible evidence of value
really
delivered.
Kind of get involved in their business. A couple of our bigger clients, we regularly look in their CRM to see how people are interacting with what we're
take a look at the
advertising
data,
for.
right?
Yeah.
All the details.
And I think the more you can meet people on that level where you're talking to them about the issues that they're dealing with every day, the more they feel like you're on their side.
Sure. I think those are both great answers. What do you think about that? Huh? Those are both excellent. By the way, while you're thinking about this, I'm going to tell you one thing that I think both of them kind of skipped over. They both know this, all right, is to do the research in advance before you meet the client.
Correct.
Right? That's so you have a feel for who they are. Right. And then the second thing, and I think you kind of got to this a little bit, is customizing the offer, tweaking the deal so that it feels like it's uniquely appropriate for them. Correct. That feels real. That engenders trust, to be sure. But anyway, what do you think about those two answers right there?
I like the fact that the quantifiable evidence is what will prove and help solidify. But I like yours too, and those blue eyes. I'm going to split it. I'm not going to be the bad guy.
Okay,
all right. All
right, so it's 50-50 on that. Those were good answers, guys. Clearly. This is, by the way, I want to tell you, our viewers are watching this carefully. I just got a letter or an email from a gal. I did not know that she was even interested in the show, and she said, I learned so much from the questions that were going on WOWBIZ Super Quiz. I will watch it every week. She says, I'm trying to be a new sales rep now. I'm going to bust into sales from customer service, and I gained the courage to go ahead and be an outbound sales rep for a large company. And she said, I couldn't have done it without the feedback and the dialogue on this show. Isn't that amazing?
That is.
Like
So you truly are helping people right now. You have no idea how many people are watching and really taking notes because we're touching on the deep stuff. This is the real stuff. All right, we're going to do one more thing here, and then we're going to give you a little bit of an assignment. In fact, let's get the. Can you do me a little favor?
I'd be happy to.
Okay, all right. Take this over to these guys. See, I'm giving them the wrong.
Yeah.
We want some paper there. Give them the green. Give them the green. And here's a marker pen. Thank you so much. And while she gives you the materials right here, I'm going to explain this to you. Email continues to be more effective than any other media out there these days. It's hard to believe because people have overdone it and we feel like we're just overwhelmed with email. But the thing is, writing the subject line is extremely important. That doesn't surprise anybody, but you know, it's when you're by yourself sitting in the office trying to say, what am I going to write here exactly to get the most opens, right? And one of the things that we learned recently is that using the word learn, kind of like what we're doing right here, this is educational, this is learning, right? This is a bad word. Bad word. People don't want to read an email that emphasizes learning, believe it or not. Also, the word read or the word book kiboshes the open rates on email. It's a very interesting thing. So here we are. It's kind of an educational format. We're touching on some great executive level learning. So I'm going to ask the both of you to write a subject line that would go in an email that would promote this particular event, get more people here, and so on and so forth. You work on that right now, right? While Heather and I come up here and we chat a little bit about, and you're gonna have a good 60 seconds or so. All right,
okay.
Is that good?
I think that's great. I think you just outsourced your own task. That's brilliant.
They don't know that. Be quiet. Don't tell them that. I'm going to have them develop the whole marketing campaign and all the copy and all the graphics. It'll be graphics next.
That'll be perfect.
We'll get Curzon involved. Speaking of Curzon, I want to talk about Curzon. Curzon is an outstanding sponsor. They stepped right up and they provided all these incredible graphics that you see here on the WOWBIZ Super Quiz set. They've been extremely helpful in terms of sponsoring and helping us get going. And I got to tell you, there's something about the graphics that makes such a difference these days in marketing communications. Now, I'm a word person. I love to write and essays. I've been published a couple times and so on. But really, these days, graphics are the thing. And so you got to find the right graphic producer. And it's really nice to be able to know that Curzon, who we see right here, they're supporting our show. They're at the very edge, and it's really a wonderful thing to have Curzon Promotional Graphics. Now, I'm going to spell the name for you, C-U-R-Z-O-N. You've already seen their logo right now on top of the screen, so you know exactly who we're talking about. Curzon Promotional Graphics in Omaha, Nebraska. Call them. They'll work with you all over the country. And they'll do backdrops and banners and giant signs and, of course, trade shows and so on and so forth. Very, very helpful. We're so glad to have them. Yeah, we're glad to have you, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself so that people understand the incredible life that you live. You have a family of 6 kids. Really? Is that true?
Yes. I have my husband and Tate and I have 6 children. We live in the Omaha area, and every day is...
Do you joke a lot with them, or is it incredibly serious?
It is, no, I think, no. I joke a lot with my children.
Of course you do.
Yeah. And
they probably inspire you a little bit in terms of coming up with, life seems ridiculous at some point in time.
Sometimes I just make like little traps for them to fall into so I have some material. I
know, they'll inspire you to say,
right.
I'm going to do that on WOWBIZ Super Quiz.
Just literally trip him down the stairs. Let's see what, no,
all right. So what do you think about these guys? Should we move back here and listen to what they've written with their subject line? I can't wait to hear this.
This will be good.
Copywriters, both of them. I can't wait to hear what's going on with these guys. Okay, let's start with the copywriter, Mr. Rutledge over there from Council Bluffs. What would you write to get a 40% open rate on a promotional email about this educational event?
I actually wrote 2.
You wrote 2?
I did. Because
he's showing off. He's showing off. He's an ad guy. He's showing off.
The first one is my staff when they want me to read an email because I'm notorious about not reading emails.
Yeah.
That's the subject line they use.
Sparkles. Okay. Yes. Okay. And
gets me to read it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The second one, a little more seriously.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
So we want feedback from and that's true, we do want that. We want this to be as interactive as possible. Now, do you think if somebody clicked on that and they opened it up and they found out about WOWBIZ Super Quiz, do you think they'd feel like that was a misrepresentation at all or not? I'm just curious.
Well, you'd have to make sure that you wrote an email that actually did solicit
that spoke
feedback.
Ask them.
Yeah.
Well, you hooked me down, carried me down that line right there. Okay, but no, that's a good point. Always questions and inviting feedback is always a good hook.
And usually, too, at least in our world, a yes or no question is always best. Someone can answer yes or no. Because usually we're communicating with people that are in meetings, they're busy, they got a million things going on.
Yeah.
If you can.
How about questions and subject lines? Do you like to have a question in the subject line? It's good, yeah? Okay.
Especially, again, if it's a yes or no question that they can just one-word response, yes.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. That's an interesting response. Mr. Caldwell from Carson Wealth, tell me a little bit about what you think would be a great motivational subject line for an email going out to the entire world saying, come to this show, this incredible show. I want to know.
All right,
now.
you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sure.
Are you ready,
All right.
Heather?
I want to hear.
All right,
All
we're
right,
ready.
so 3 industry experts weigh in on the importance of consumer confidence in education.
Wow. Wow. Now, that's long.
That's okay, because you start out with 3 industry experts.
Yes.
So now that gets their attention, that experts, and then they'll
Okay.
keep reading.
Okay, okay. So you're not worried about the length of the
Not
subject?
worried at all.
Because usually sometimes they'll say, you know, you don't want to get too long, you know.
I would only worry about how long it would take me to type that if you've seen me type.
Okay.
Everyone
okay.
I email has ADD.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Heather, now this is very interesting. We've got a very contrasting thing here, right?
Yeah.
You got kind of a short thing with a little answer,
Yeah.
your feedback needed, and so on and so forth. This guy wrote a lengthy one. Which one of these two? Huh? Which one of these two do you think, Heather?
I like both. I'm not going to be the decider on this one.
Really? You're
I
not
guess-
going to be?
I do. I think it depends on what, like, each one grabs your attention, and once you make, if I'm feeling in a productive mood, I think I would open yours. If I'm feeling like, yes, I can pick up the phone and answer it today, then I would respond to the feedback one. You know, like I think both are really good.
Okay, okay.
And you are going to try both. I'm going to get
no,
two
no,
emails
I'm
this
going
week. It's
to
gonna
make a
each
choice
one.
here because I write a lot of these, and some of them aren't so successful. Some are, you know. I have reservations about the length of that subject line, but on the other hand, I think you're right. 3 industry experts is a pretty hot hook, and I think it would get some attention. I probably would try to shorten that up a little bit.
Totally agree.
But I think the lead in there, 3 industry experts will say, hey, this is a businessy thing. You know, if you're into expertise, you know, you're going to be interested in this. I think it's a self-sorting. So in this particular case, I think it's going to be you, Mr. Caldwell.
Thank you, sir.
And I appreciate your thing.
That's good.
It's not that it's bad, but I think it would be a little bit better.
I think you have a future in clickbait.
I think you should be a copywriter, Mr. Caldwell. I think that's what you should
Like
do.
the Packers and the Vikings.
All right, here we go. Let's keep on moving here, guys. We only have 5 minutes left on this show, by the way. So, you know, hey. So here we go. We're going to skip right down to the bottom line. This is the climax, all right? All right. Your view of the future. Think about that. For the company, your view of the future, your vision of the company, your sense of destiny, your ability to convey that to people and get them to say, wow, you know, these guys, they know what they're going, and I want to get on that train. I want to be with Dan. I want to be with Jim because they have a clear-cut, very exciting idea about where we're going to go in this company. All right? So I'm going to start with Dan on this, and then I'm going to come to Jim. I'm going to ask you to tell me, Dan, how you would fashion a destiny statement. You know, what would you say, in just a few short words, to try to get people to say, I'm on that train, I'm with you. You have, and you don't have to give us literally the destiny for your company, but tell us how to craft a destiny.
Mm-hmm. I probably would just look you in the eye and say, you are my density.
You are my destiny? You'd say that to like an employee.
Density. You are my density.
Ah, okay, all right.
Movie.
All right.
No, seriously.
That sounded like a Jerry Maguire moment, but I don't know.
No. I think, you know, I guess I would say our destiny as a company, really why we settled on the name Right Idea is because in the world today, there's really no use of a cookie cutter approach to anything that anybody does, particularly in marketing. Every business has unique strengths, a unique market, a unique product that they're trying to sell, and they have, you know, budget limitations or geographical limitations where their market is, whatever it might be. So everyone needs a right idea.
A right idea.
Special right
and
idea.
Is that going to be any different in the future than it is right now?
I think it'll go that way more.
That's
as time goes
classic,
by.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So he's going to go back to the core brand, the name of the company, and just reinforce the validity of that going into the future. And I'm going to come over to here, Mr. Cardwell. Tell me, be a leadership trainer. Tell me how to craft a destiny statement for your company. What would I have to keep in mind to be as inspirational as you are?
So we have this
30 seconds or less.
Massive transformative purpose, MTP.
Yeah.
That's what our focus is at Carson Wealth, where we feel like our from top to bottom and bottom to top, everybody's on the same page working together. They all understand what the purpose is, where we're heading, how we're going to get there. And we feel like in the next 10 years, there'll be 15 mega firms out there providing financial services to individuals and businesses, and we're going to be on that train.
Okay, so you have a kind of a specific expansion plan.
Yes.
that requires everybody to be on the same page.
Yes.
I think that's pretty strong. I think they're both pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to, in this particular case, go for Mr. Caldwell only because the future is a little more exciting than saying we're going to stick with our idea and just keep doing what we're doing.
I veto it.
Huh?
I veto. I
Yeah?
say Dan. Just
You
so
think
we can
Dan?
say I made all.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hey, you know, it's a Heather Jones show. You know, she's here for a
Hey.
reason. So, you know how women can be. All right, never mind. All right, guys, that was an outstanding
Thank you.
job.
That was
You did a
great.
great job.
Thank
You
you,
shared
Lynn.
it from the heart. Let's hit the bells right here. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker. This is Heather Jones. Thank you so much. Come on up here. And thank you so much for joining us here on WOWBIZ Super Quiz. It's been another show, right?
Yes.
We keep digging deeper.
Yeah.
We had 2 contestants here instead of 3, but we allowed them to kind of get deep into it.
It was. Yeah, I loved it. It was.
I felt like I was learning.
I felt like I was learning.
But you know, you got away with saying, "Hey, it's both. It's
Yeah,
equal.
this is the
it's
comic
the
thing. I
same
don't
thing."
have,
You know, yeah, you jumped out of that. I got you. It's okay. I don't blame you because these are bright guys, very sharp guys.
Yeah.
So make sure that you do make sure that you follow yourself to Dan Rutledge and Right Idea Media in Council Bluffs, as well as Jim Caldwell and Carson Wealth out in West Omaha. Thank you again, gentlemen. Thank you so very much, everybody. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker. We'll see you next time on WOWBIZ Super Quiz. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you later. All right. Good job. Good job. Good job.
right.